Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to LessonPix Live. On a new link for some reason, StreamYard decided to move us to a new link and not use the one we promoted all week.
I love it when that happens.
Yay, it's that kind of week. It's that kind of week. But welcome, a good Wednesday evening. And for those of you who are new, I'm Bill Binko, co-founder of LessonPix. Lori, my wife and partner. We started LessonPix a dozen years ago, and we're really thrilled with where it's been. So we're going to spend about an hour. We are going to be a little more structured this week. Look, Lori has a plan.
We have a visual schedule. Check it out.
Look at this. This is how you stay on topic. You have a visual schedule,
yes,
which will have no green on it, but whatever. Yeah. So we're going to go down, and what are we going to do today?
So number one, I can check it off because
we did it.
We're doing our welcome right now.
Yeah.
So welcome everyone. And then number two, we have a special guest.
Yeah.
One of my favorite guests.
We're not going to go down the other stuff.
Oh, okay.
We are.
Okay, we are.
Yeah.
I will go through the whole list.
All right. Special guest. We're going to do what's new.
Then we're going to do what's new. We'll find that out. Then we have some great ideas to share. Love letters.
From you guys.
And door prizes. What does that mean, door prizes?
We're going to do door prizes. So we did years ago. We did this. We used to have a much more structured show many years ago. If you want to go way back in the YouTube library, you'll see a big round circle, and it would be 10 minutes of everything, and nobody paid any attention to us. But now we have a lot more people who pay attention to us, and so we are going to do door prizes today. So
are you ready, Kelly?
That's right. That's right. Kelly Suiting's going to win. Toy Princes, Beth says.
I fixed it. I edited
it. So we are going to do door prizes. So if you are watching us on Facebook or YouTube on this stream, not the other stream, we want to know how you're going to use LessonPix for back to school.
Back to school.
We're actually going to focus on back to school this week. We got off topic last week, and we're going to stay on topic. Talk about back to school with one of our favorite people, Cassie Frost.
Super excited.
But
it's my New Year, so
yeah.
Yay.
Get on the comments. And if you want to put on there, just put idea and what you use LessonPix for. If you've got a picture, post it. If you don't have a picture, that's fine too.
Just share an idea.
We're going to label every idea we get in. And at the end of the show, we're just going to do spinners, give away 3 prizes. We're going to give away either LessonPix renewals or new memberships. Or if you're caught up or getting LessonPix through your schools, which we know happens a lot.
A lot of people have
$25 gift certificate to
Amazon.
The Amazon.
The Amazon. So we will email you a gift certificate, and you can use it for all your back to school supplies.
Perfect. All right. I see people are already starting. That's wonderful. Now, I'm not going to put all those up there.
Beth is going to answer with a number, right?
Yeah, she's going to give you numbers. You'll see, like Beth just posted this. You are number 1. Yeah. Woo-hoo! You see that? You got a number at the end. We'll see how many people put in ideas. We'll go through them all, and we'll do a spinner, a LessonPix Play Tools, and do a spinner and give them away.
How
3
many?
of them.
3.
3. It would have been 1 because I'm cheap.
Not me.
But somebody put plurals on all the advertising. And now that the advertising's gone, we could have gotten away with 1. It would have been fine.
3 gift certificates for renewal or
Amazon. All right. So that's great to get started. Let's talk to our special guest. All right.
Who is our special guest?
Our special guest is Cassie Frost, and she is right there. Hey. I'm going to bump you. There she is.
There we go. Hi, there it is.
There you go. So she's the blonde with the dark shirt on. So
hey, I guess,
she's the one that says Cassie on it.
Oh, so that makes it easier.
That makes it easier. So Cassie is one of our favorite teachers, exceptionally involved at the Council for Exceptional Children. And you work in a area that we would love to have more success in and help people more in. You are an EBD middle school teacher. And God bless you. I cannot imagine being an EBD middle school teacher. But I'd love to hear. We've been working with you for years, but if you wouldn't mind telling people briefly.
Also, can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
She does a lot of presentations. So if you ever get a chance to hear Cassie speak or you see her name in a conference, Cassie Frost, It's worth it. I know I've sat at dinner with her and I was just completely engaged.
Everybody listens to her when she talks. She's,
She
you know, she's like
does.
Judy Schoonover that way.
I think she owns executive functioning, and it's her heart. Like it's just part of her. And so, yeah, I would recommend go to any of her sessions if you see her presenting.
Even if it's not about LessonPix.
Usually it's not. That's okay.
And it turns out Kelly Suding likes you.
Aw.
Or
And
the
now I'm
stalker,
blushing.
you like
It's
to
a
call
great way
her.
to start.
So. All right.
She's the squatter.
What did I call her? Stalker?
Yeah.
No, there's somebody else. She's the squatter. I'm sorry. Good enough. So, Cassie, tell us about yourself and what you do.
Oh boy. Well, first off, I've got some feedback going on here. First off, I love the idea that you just said that everybody listens to me, but I will tell you, when I was in the junior high EBD classroom, I feel like I had many students that didn't. So, you know, it's great that I've picked up that skill now. So I was a emotional and behavioral disabilities teacher for 15 years. So I taught a residential treatment facility, alternative school, and then in the junior high in the public school. Since then, I've actually started working in the area of assistive technology. So I haven't been in the classroom in a few years, in at least my own classroom. But now I have the luxury and joy of going in and working with other teachers in their classrooms to help them set up things for executive functioning and behavior and curriculum in their classrooms. So I went from working with my own students to working with other teachers and their students. So that's been pretty awesome. And LessonPix is a tool that I use all the time, regardless of where I'm at. So I'm super excited to be able to talk about it today.
Excellent.
As you guys know, how I kind of just show up at the booth sometimes and start talking to people about LessonPix. I really enjoy showing off LessonPix.
That's how I first met you.
Exactly. Like we were at Closing the Gap 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And I'm at the booth. It's early. I have a session. Nobody else is there. Like, I have to go do a session. No one else is there. And Cassie walks up and I'm like, can you leave the booth? She's like, can I help you? She's like, I'm by myself and I got to go do a session. She's like, can I help you? I'm like, can you leave the booth? She's like, sure.
So
I get there. I'm like, hi, I'm Lori Vinco.
Who are you and why are you running our booth? So
would you like a shirt?
It wasn't long. Right.
Well,
but and now Cassie does do trainings for us and does present at conferences with us and works the booth for real, where she's paid.
Not pretend. Yes.
Yeah, not pretend anymore. But yeah, so you've been with us for a little bit, but you've been using us for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stick to back to school for a minute so we don't get off on stories like we did last week. And I'm going to really try. It's hard. I have my own. When you put me and Lauren Enders together, the ADHD goes crazy. So we're not going to do that this week. But let's talk about some of the ideas you've used in your settings when you're heading back to school and how we're using it. I can share your screen when you're ready. If you just want to talk first, tell me. I'll start you like this, and tell me when you want to see a screen. Okay.
Sure. Well, first off, I'll start this way. And I'm just going to say that LessonPix is one of my favorite go-tos. As you guys were talking about executive functioning and things, working with students who struggle with emotions and behaviors, and every student in general, having a visual is great, because we know that if we have an auditory input, we only hear it once. So if we struggle with attention, we had one opportunity to hear it, and now it's gone. If we struggle with memory, we had one opportunity to hear it. If we forget, it's gone. So anytime I'm talking about executive functioning or behavior or something new, like the first day of school when everything is new for our students, I'm talking visuals. And so that anybody that listens to me present or speak anywhere, I have this rule that if you have to repeat it 3 times, you need a visual, because you've already said it twice. By the 3rd time, you know, all you're starting to do is get frustrated with yourself, and your students are feeling frustrated too. So when I'm talking with people at the start of the school year, the first question I'm always having is if you have your visuals ready to go. And if people are starting to say, well, maybe I'm not sure, what do I need? I'm sending them to LessonPix, because this is by far the easiest way to create all of the visuals for your classroom super quick and easy. So I'm talking about routines for things like, what are the expectations for lining up, for washing your hands if you're in an elementary school? Where do you hand in papers? What types of things need to be on your paper, right? Because every classroom, think junior high again, every classroom has a different expectation for what needs to be on the paper. Is it your name? Is it the class period? Do you need to include the date? Do you need to include maybe the classroom title or the period? And these are all things your kids are trying to figure out at the start of the school year. And this adds so much anxiety, so much stress to their world that we're starting to see more behaviors, all of those things crop up. So at the beginning of the year, visuals for every routine that you have, post them around your room. If eventually you don't need them all, great, you can start decreasing some of them. But having them out at the start of the year means that you don't have to repeat yourself as often, your students are less stressed, and everything goes a lot smoother. So I go with schedules at the start of the year, labels for everything, which I'm one of those people that, like, I know I can just take a piece of paper and a marker and write, like, you know, scissors, glue, and like tape it to a cupboard, but it doesn't look pretty and it irritates me. So I love like using LessonPix to make all the pretty labels for everything for me so that they look straight and even.
Well, and they're consistent, right? They're consistent across everything. Right?
They are. And they're legible, which,
right.
you know, some of us when we're in a hurry, our handwriting isn't quite as great maybe as we would like it to be.
Right, right.
So that's usually where I'm starting off when I'm talking about LessonPix. And then the next piece of this, when I'm talking about visuals, are some of the stress relief or behavior management type tools. So do you have something ready to go for like breathing routines, for what you can do when you need to calm down? Maybe like a spinner of options that, you know, when I'm feeling worked up, I can spin this and it gives me options for what I can do, you know, because sometimes if you're already stressed, trying to decide how to calm down is hard. But like if you help a student create a spinner with like 5 things that they enjoy doing on it when they're feeling overwhelmed, that works great. And they're super easy to make with LessonPix. So each one of those different categories of visuals, if you get them set up in the first couple weeks of school, you've got them for the rest of the year and you're starting off on the right foot. So Bill, if you want to share my screen.
Yep, I can do that.
Beth was actually just showing me that this was added to the sharing center today, and I am just loving this one. Now, one of the reasons that I'm absolutely loving this, and she just showed this to me now, and I'm going to print it as soon as we're off of here. But I love that the students in this look like they're junior high kids, because to me, when I'm trying to create visuals, right, a lot of times when you hear visuals and you go to like search them online or you look for ones that are maybe already out there somewhere, most of the, you know, students that are pictured in those are they look like they're about 6 or 7 years old,
right?
Which is great because we know that our little guys need the visuals. But if I would put that in front of one of the junior high kids that I work with, that's just going to escalate the situation because they're
not a baby.
Right. Still, you got it. You're speaking.
Hey, do me a favor. Will you hit the download PDF so we can see that?
Sure. Let's do it.
Look at that.
There we go.
Right.
And I absolutely, let's see if I can make it just a little bigger so you can see the whole thing.
Perfect.
There we go. So again, we have got students here that are represented with different skin tones, hair colors, you know, genders, so that, you know, it works across a variety of situations and with different students. But the age appropriateness here is super important to me.
Yeah.
I'm really big on age appropriate materials, and I know LessonPix gets used a lot for our younger students, but I love that you can also use it at the junior high level. And I know I was one of the few people using it at junior high in the district that I was in at first. Until like people started realizing how many resources there are there for older students.
Gotcha. So I'd like to show you. I know I've watched you in the booth. You're awesome.
Yeah.
I do want to show you some comments that we have come up. I got as a tech coach, even my teachers prefer visuals on how to do things. The visuals aren't just for the learners. That's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
And then it helps other adults in the room too.
Yes.
And
very much.
I guess we have, as a high school life skills teacher, it's so helpful having age appropriate visuals, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think one of the neat things that you show a lot, and I'll leave you in this view if you want. When I watch Cassie, especially when I like throw the middle school people over to Cassie when we're in the booth, and do me a favor, hold down Control and scroll, just make it bigger, or Control Plus, make it bigger. You can do it. You can do it.
There we go.
Hey, there you go.
Nice.
So, thank you. I know I'm picky.
Bigger. It's okay.
So, I love the fact that like she'll show things that we didn't even think. Wow, you're right. We have a lot of those, a lot of choices, and we never think about them. But you want to show some of your examples about the age appropriate work with just the kind of searches you do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that I do as a demonstration when I'm talking about our teachers who maybe come in and are like, I don't know if LessonPix is really going to work for the students that I work with, right? So a lot of times when I'm giving an example is I'll go into the feelings folder because we all talk about feelings, right? Especially if we're talking junior high EBD, or if we're just talking junior high in general, feelings tend to come into play quite a bit at that age level. But by scrolling down here, you can see that we get some of our kind of standards. But as you even look at like against, these are older students. When we come down here to the word argue, I like this one because we have some students here who look a little bit younger, but then we have a couple of students that look like they're probably about that middle school age having an argument. We also have,
Mixed
younger
ages,
students.
right?
What's that?
Mixed ages, right?
Mixed ages.
Siblings, Yep.
Yep. And we even then going down here, one of my favorite examples for this is the word calm. So when I'm talking about LessonPix and I'm, kind of showing people how to use it for the first time, one of the things that I love is that LessonPix, and I'm sure this is not super fun on the back end to manage all of these, but that you have more than one representation for each word. Like if I'm looking for calm, I might come in and find this picture or this picture of a younger student, but I can also look here and find a young woman who's looking like she's probably in high school to represent the word calm. And if I'm going to use this as a visual for a student who I'm trying to work with on becoming calm, they're going to respond a lot better using an image like this than they are of a younger student.
I also like the fact that
I love this.
we have the word as a verb, right? We have an image of to calm, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the two pictures with the arrow between them as well. Like we really have thought through, Lori really has thought through, and the requests, and we should talk about the fact that most of these images are from requests. We no longer, it's very rare that we sit around and think up new pictures. I know we did when we did the personas or the characters.
In the beginning, or for targeting something specific, but most of these are drawn by request, and people have become very specific. So like in the beginning, they might have said, I see calm, but I'd like somebody older.
Right.
And that probably stirred both the
I remember one of my best examples would be chinning.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do a quick search for the word chinning? I think this will show a good example of this.
While she's doing that, I'm just going to chime in. I say it every single time I present. Students need to see themselves in the resources that we use with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because why will they buy into something if they don't see themselves represented?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
We have a comment from Kimberly too, right? Yes to age appropriate visuals. Absolutely. So, but if let's show chinning for a second here. So we had this first one in the upper left, which was the boy with the
this was
chinning.
Originally a mom in Australia requested, her son was I had never heard of chinning
as a verb
as a verb before. So anyhow, she's like, he's always digging his chin into my arm or my body. Can you draw a picture? And she described her son. This was early days. And so I drew that. And then next thing I know, I got another request. Oh, you have chinning. Can you do a leg? And I'm like, sure. And then I had someone else write in saying, oh, I see, but it looks so negative. We use it for proprioceptive input as a reinforcement. So can I have somebody smiling and getting that input? And I'm like, sure, we'll do that. And then someone else came in and said, oh, can you add like maybe an adult or a hand coming up under to give that input in that way versus them seeking it from their peers or other adults.
Right.
in possibly not appropriate ways. So I was like, wow, we have the biggest library of chinning that I've ever seen.
Right. So, but it is true that we've tried very hard, and it is the difference between like this and like an AAC symbol set. In an AAC symbol set, you're going to have one picture that means this in this language, in this symbol language. And we have a preferred AAC one. So if you're using cough drop or you're using our searches, the primary AAC one will come up first on your core words. But there's all these others. So if it's angry or if it's don't or if it's something like that, you're going to get just an absolute ton of them.
So I have two thoughts after what you were just saying, if you don't mind me sharing. While
you're here.
When you're talking about the whole idea of students needing to see themselves, right? So when I'm creating visuals for junior high, this is one of my favorite things to do. And I'm guessing a lot of people probably already know this or do this, but I always love showing this because it's a game changer when you're creating a visual specific to a student. So for example, if I'm working with a student on, putting their backpack into their locker, or, maybe I'm going to show them as a student, right, at school. And what I love is that I can click on this picture. And if I have a student, sorry, the mail must have just came. If you hear my dog, that's what's going on.
We're a dog-friendly program, don't worry.
So if I have a student that always wears a yellow shirt and yellow is their favorite color, because you always have the one student that has the one shirt that they wear like every day because it's their favorite thing ever. You can get so much more buy-in, especially from a junior high student, by going to that recolor and customize tool. And I'll just come in quick, pick the shirt that I want to change the color of, and I'm going to make that yellow, click swap colors. And just like that, now I have so much more buy-in from the junior high set because I can make the image look like my student.
Right.
I can make the backpack be their color. I can make it be their favorite color of shirt. And now these visuals that weren't cool, right, are suddenly so much more buy-in, and it's that quick and easy to do it. And I've seen a huge difference in some of the students I work with who are like super anti-visual. They don't want to schedule, but when they see themselves, all of a sudden, then they're super bought into it.
Right. And there's also, if you want to bring that up again for a second, so actually on the left right there, just go back. So
bring it up, go back.
I know.
You scroll down on the left, you'll also see the other styles, the other students. You'll see stencil versions, and you'll see male and female, long and short. And there's all the different skin tones. So if you look in recolor and customize, now the very first things when you go to recolor, so click on his skin tone or something, right? You scroll down so you can see that I know I told you to zoom in. I'm sorry. But the first three there, sometimes it's hard to find good skin tones. We found 3 good skin tones. So start with those 3 and then just slide the slider around. If you want to make it a little lighter, a little darker, you have good starting places for light skin, medium skin, dark skin, right? And it's just a really good way to make that person look like them, right?
And the other thing that really jumped out to me from a junior high standpoint is this folder. So I appreciate you so much for taking the time to draw these, because one of the visuals that we always need at the start of the school year is our technology routines, because our kids have been out for the summer and they have tablets and computers and phones and things at home. But when they're on them at home, they're not really doing schoolwork on them most often, right? They're on Minecraft or YouTube or wherever they are. And so a lot of times I have students that come in and out of habit, they're doing the same things with their devices at school that they would be at home, and they're getting in trouble for it. And it's not a great way to start off the school year. So I absolutely adore these pictures that you can use to start making some routines around when is the device plugged into a charging station? When are you actually on it? What are you going to when you pull up your tablet or your device? So I absolutely love that you guys have taken the time to put all of these together, because especially at the beginning of the year, I use these. I really like the emotion ones, and I use those a lot, but a lot of the beginning of the year are the visuals around technology, because that's what our kids are using. And that's
They
great.
care about it, right?
Right. But we need them to be able to use it with the school routines, not their home routines. And that's a big change. So that's something that I use these a lot. And I appreciate the library here, which is, I mean, most of our kids don't have an MP3 player anymore.
You can tell when we started.
We started in 2012, Cassie. We're not deleting them.
They're
still gonna be there.
In
See,
2009.
it's going to be like a history of technology over time. I love it.
That's right. Right.
Love
Look, there's
it.
a Go Talk on there, which is great for involving kids in games, but not as a primary communication device. I know my pitch, Beth.
Hey, there's a place for it, right?
Yep,
like
absolutely.
There's a place for it. Part of engineering a classroom with multiple resources. So there's a place for the Go Talks. We don't ditch them.
Yep. All right. Hey, we need to move on to our next section. Cassie, you're going to stay with us for the rest of the section.
Here.
You're not going anywhere.
Well, actually,
I will be here.
One of the things Cassie said leads really well into our next segment. So
Does it?
Kind of works.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Well, let's see. Show the banner. Is that cheesy
you're
or
such
what?
a dork.
I love that.
So, all right.
All
So
right.
what's hot off the press, Lori? What are we going to talk about?
Right before we do that, make sure you write your comments. I know Beth has been reminding people, write your ideas in the comments, and she will give you a number for our door prize at the end.
I like the door prize.
We're up to 15 for your spinner bill so far.
All right. We can do any number. You know how this works.
I know.
Number 3.
We can do 364. It'll work. Number 3. So what's new?
What's new?
We're
So
going to share
we got
my page.
more and more new things
Yep.
coming all the
Yep.
time. And that's the way LessonPix works,
That's
right?
how it works.
But I think this week we're going to show our thematic units.
Right.
Yes.
So let's talk about our thematic units.
Well,
where do you find them?
Most people now know about our In a Story.
Yeah.
So,
If you don't know about In a Story, it's right here. It
yes.
says In a Story, and this is where Lori has gone through all the early childhood books and middle.
Not all of them. I'm still working. There's so many.
Okay.
So many good books.
Lots
In
of
fact,
them.
this week I've been working on We Don't Eat Our Classmates by Ryan T. Higgins.
And so in every one of these, Cassie, you're muted. Don't mute. You gotta participate.
I
want to hear you laugh.
I was going to let the dog finish yelling at the mailman.
Oh, all right, fair enough. So, but these are all stories. These are all articles where Lori has gone through and put together or found in the sharing center materials that support this story, and then you've curated them, put the best ones here, explained when to use it or how to use it.
Tons of ideas.
Tons of ideas for every one of these
comprehension,
stories.
extension activities, etc.
So-
And in fact, I was showing this in the booth and talking to Cassie, and Cassie is the one who had said, what you need are thematic units. We have a lot of kids in special education going to general education, which is how you started in the beginning of what we talked about today, and maybe needing the extra resources and support for thematic units. And ta-da!
Ta-da! We've started. Ta-da! We've started.
This is an immense amount of work putting together thematic units, and there are a few to
Let's
start,
see,
but many more.
Where do I find them?
Well,
So we go to articles.
go to articles, and you can also see them down the right-hand side. If you did go to In a Story, they would be there as well.
On the left-hand side.
On the left-hand side,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay. Your other left. Yeah. But right here where it says right beneath In a Story, seasons and holidays, the next one is thematic units.
Prior, this category had been themes where I showcased different themed templates. So we have a lot of templates that might be popcorn or ducks, space, and I don't know, trains.
But that doesn't work. I thought that might work. It doesn't work.
Now I've converted it to thematic units. We've gotten rid of some of those. And each of these units contains a wealth of resources. If you want to click on one.
Which one?
You
about
pick your
bees?
favorite. Bees. I learned a ton about bees.
Yeah, you had to learn all about them in order to make these.
All about the bees. But they start with some generic objectives that go with the theme. Obviously, you're going to tie your objectives to match the students that you're working with.
But they're starters.
But they're starter ones. They're very generic. And then we often go to some kind of introduction, some kind of spark, light it, KWL, explore prior knowledge. What do the kids know? Any misconceptions they might have? And so I love KWL is a research-based process a lot of people do, where you write what the students know, what they want to know, and what
I
they've
love
learned.
the fact, just while we're here,
Yep.
check it out. Lori did both early childhood and older kids.
Or you can look at them as one is if you're working with a small group or an individual student and you want to do a KWL with them, that is using our short sorting pages.
Right.
The other one in a classroom, I would cut out and tape to the top of chart paper, or I would put it up in a smart board separately and write KWL, and we would do it together as a class.
Okay. I just know that this looks a lot more older and mature and less kid than this one does.
True.
Okay. What else is in here? What else are they going to see?
Well,
I was just going to add, as far as that mature thing piece there, is like you could take that same all about bees, and if you needed to switch out the bees for the ones that look like they have the stinger on them instead of cutesy happy ones, right? Like you might be part of a upper grade science.
Right. We have multiple bees.
Mm-hmm.
We have lots of bees.
And honestly, if
you're going to see a bunch.
If you're working with older students, this visual might not be the one for you, right? Like you might just write KWL, right? But if you're working with students individually and you know their personality, or if that's what they need, then, use the visual. You know your students. So, but from there, within each of these thematic units, it delves into the subject content matter, different storybooks and videos that tie into the theme.
These aren't ours. These are videos that you can jump to about that you've just found interesting ones from National Geographic, and
they're really good.
Yeah, you talked about bees for days.
I was telling them all about royal jelly. We went to a honey store.
We did. We went to a honey store.
I'm telling you, doing these units is more than the units. It's about Lori.
So
learning about
bees. Okay, a bee or not a bee? I like it. You have sorting these.
Again, those are for more little ones, and you're working in language. Yep. I love the fact that the SLPs and the OTs I worked with would do activities meeting their objectives that tie into our units of study. So this worked very well.
Yep.
Everyone has unit vocabulary, and then you can just go faster through the rest of these.
The anatomy. Look, there's a bee picture, and you just put that in the symbol builder and drew some arrows.
I did.
So anybody can do that on any subject. You can label it.
Click on it. So there you go. And I did make that symbol. So if you scroll down, it says custom, but you can use it
into the tray.
Yeah.
Do it for whatever you want.
Take my symbol.
I don't want to take your symbol. All right. So comparing what is different and the same. What's the life cycle look like? How does pollination work? Holy cow.
There's a ton. Each of these units has a wealth of materials.
Yeah. So very cool. And all of these look like, is B exceptional, or do they all look like this?
They all look like this.
They all look like this. So there's just an absolute ton on all of these. And we are taking requests for thematic units. So if you'd like to add that.
The one that I recommend that every grade level start with at some level is the All About Me, because this is an important unit to get to know your students. What are their interests, likes, dislikes? What are their sensory preferences, toy preferences?
Who are their friends?
You get so much information if you just spend a couple days, week or 2 weeks, just learning about who your students are.
You made this one.
I did.
Cool.
I did.
So do labeling. I heard labeling everywhere, but yes, all of this get to know you bingo with your students in it.
I feel like somebody just froze.
Are we back now?
Oh, there we go.
There you're back.
Good. It cleared when I.
So she danced, and the internet went no.
That's
she do it again.
No.
Do it again.
Not
I'll do
breaking it.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
I have
So-
to say, I absolutely adore this because you're right. This is something I always show. Because if we have students that are going out into regular education and they're out there with their same age peers, but maybe they're not ready for the curriculum that's in class, usually I'm bringing people into LessonPix and we're creating alternative activities with limited vocabulary and things like that we can send out into the classroom with the student. And you just cut the time down on that already in like a half.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already super fast to do it, but now you guys already have them ready to go as a starting
Ready to
point.
go, right?
Well, and even as a model, like somebody can come in there now and see what types of activities,
Right.
you could create to support.
Exactly where I was going to go to next. These were initiated with the fact that they were supposed to be inspirational. Like in a story, all those activities were supposed to inspire. Look at all the things you can do to engage in literacy. And that same goes with thematic units.
So we
What did
have a
Rebecca
question. She says, did I miss it? Are these found in the sharing center? No, let me show it again because obviously
show it again?
I was not clear or we hung for a second there. So if you go up to articles and then down the left-hand side to thematic units, or if you just do a search here for thematic units.
Or you can type in bees.
If you type in bees, it'll find them,
whatever.
right? So down here, the articles about, 10 awesome ideas for thematic units. It'll take you into the section and you can find them all right here. So everything from snowmen to turtles to insects and community helpers and jobs. And you spent a ton of time and you're going to do more.
Deborah Schwinn talked a lot about working on these community helpers from pre-K all the way up through transition.
Actually, that is one of my favorites. So if you guys haven't been keeping up with all of us on the LessonPix lives, Debbie Schwinn had one of the best ones talking about visuals through the lifespan, right? And she went from she talked a ton
early childhood
all the way out through transition, and that was one of my favorites. But that's where you'll find it. You'll find it under articles, thematic units, and then there's probably a few dozen now. There'll be 100 by the end of the school year.
Yeah, so
Very well.
where do folks learn from thematic units? Because my mind's churning too.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Can I give you an example that I think was really cool with this?
Sure.
So one thing in junior high school is kids go out to certain special classes, right? And so last year I had the opportunity to work with a student who was going out to a cooking class, but reading skills weren't where he could read a recipe. And so I had the opportunity, I don't know if you want to share my screen again.
Yes, ma'am.
Using the symbol builder, I went in and took all of your pieces and we were able to make all of these really cool visuals. So he needed to cut the butter. So we grabbed the cutting board, the knife and the butter and piled them together. They needed 6 cups of marshmallows. So we took 6 cups and threw marshmallows on top of them, right?
Can you click on cut the butter? I want to do this.
Sure.
That is not one of our symbols.
No, we just layered them.
Yeah.
And so, and again, in the classroom, he had a red bowl that he was mixing with. So we made the bowl red so that it matched the bowl he was. 6 cups of cereal. So we made all of the visuals to go with this recipe and then put them together for him. And now he can follow the pictures to go with it while his peers are reading the directions as well. But you guys gave out all of the base pieces. And so then I was able to just kind of throw them all together. This only took a couple minutes, but you can layer these to make all of these really cool recipes. And now the student is out in, his cooking class and making this trifle. He was making quesadillas, made a pumpkin pie pudding thing. And so this was just a really fun way to do this. So it's not necessarily a thematic unit, but it is a way that with using those custom symbols for everything that you already have and the symbol builder, and then using those simple templates, you can create all the materials to send with your student out into those other classrooms.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah. So
it was just fun to build.
That is very cool.
We did get some possible theme ideas.
To support the pyramid model.
Beth, why don't you count that as an entry for Tammy? We'll just count it. Okay. We'll count
Tammy already in?
I don't know. She can be in twice. We're always good.
Wow.
I'm giving one free.
give
Jeez.
her. She's 20 then, because it's not. I don't know why it's not showing up. I keep looking for it.
Tammy,
It's not showing in my. So
you're
Tammy,
number
20.
You're number 20, Tammy. There you go. All right. So, and we have Jessica, who we're going to talk about in a minute. Says she uses the symbol builder a lot. My symbols for the Switch, and we're going to talk about that. And then Emily says she loves the symbol builder and loves to cut the butter. I agree. I think the symbol builder was one of our best additions.
It is. I use it all the time.
And another bonus idea with that is when your students are creating stories, you can use Symbol Builder to create pictures to narrate their stories, to make books.
Right.
So they can add pictures together to make it look like the unicorn flying through space or whatever it is.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. So let me steal this for a second. And just for people who don't know what we're talking about, which will be few because most of you looks like
These guys are power.
You're power users and you're pros here. And so thank you all for being here. If you go right up here underneath where it says clip art, it says symbol builder. And if you want to have a unicorn flying through space, you can look up space and pick a picture like this one. Make it nice and big.
They
and
always
cover
come
the
in much
screen.
smaller.
They come in half size exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. And then we'll take a unicorn. And we want, there's a male unicorn, by the way, right here.
How do you know?
I know because I made sure that there would be one. So here we'll have 2 unicorns flying through space. They'll be friends. In fact, one of them will be Belladron. Or who drew this kid drawn?
Bella did.
There you go. There's a Belladron unicorn and a Lori drawn unicorn flying through space. We'll call it.
We're flying together.
We'll fly. If we flip her. There you go. Now we can fly together. There you go. And unicorns.
And how great for your
Put
students
down.
if you're making a story.
Put down.
Bella's unicorn down a little bit. There
Is
you
that better?
go. Yes.
Is that good? That good?
There you go. Thank
Okay.
you.
She really cared. All right. So when you hit create symbol, this
I don't want anything suggestive. I have middle school students.
Oh.
I was gonna say I'm the EBD teacher here was going,
Sorry, the unicorns didn't do it for me. It didn't work.
He's
Fine.
gelded. I mean,
You
I'll
can
just
hit back here. Let's make them friends instead. We'll go back. We'll flip it back, and here they'll be chatting in space. How about that? Well,
There you go. That is much
unicorns
better.
in
Thank
space without the innuendo
Is my
from my
face red?
wife. Thank you. Greg says, "Thank you for separating the unicorn." Okay. By the way, did you guys know?
than doing a junior high
sure-
theme.
I'm sure Beth knows this, but did you know that male SLPs are called unicorns?
I did know that. I
So.
did. You embrace that title, even though you're not.
I'm not an
SLP.
I'm not, but I have joined the club.
They are an underrepresented group within our field.
Would you like to know? Would you like to know why this awful picture is here? Not awful. Why this
Beautiful picture.
this less refined picture is here?
Thank you.
Why don't we tell them?
It's a kid drawn.
It's a
picture
kid drawn. There's
because
actually a category.
Kids relate to pictures drawn by other kids,
Right.
young children.
And so if you look under kid drawn, you'll see all the kid drawn picture. They have little labels on them saying that they're kid drawn.
Mhm.
And how do they get there?
We have our family members draw
I
them,
recruit
and then
kids
Lori
and friends of
converts them
families
and
from-
cleans them up. And yeah, so like this is an alicorn, which I didn't even know was a thing.
I pay them, mostly in those little tiny characters on Amazon.
Yes.
Lay
So we
Amazon.
actually, they're real kids draw these. And some of these kids are now fully grown speech pathologists.
Well, it started in 2009
Right.
when Allie was quite young.
Yep.
She was one of our early artists.
Yep.
So, but there's great kid drawn pictures. They're
There's
just
great ones.
awesome.
This crab is awesome.
I love the chicken. Love the
This
crab.
this guy's the best.
I mean,
But that's
seriously.
just awesome. So they're in here too. All right. Can we submit? Emily says, can we submit them if we find a good one?
I think she means like a kid drawn, like if her kid, like the cute one in the picture.
If she means that, then yes.
Yes. If you do, you'll probably get a letter back asking for a release from somebody. Yes,
is
we've
super
never
cool.
had that. If you send one in, we'll be happy to look at it. If we say no, we can't, but by all means, That's not what she meant. That's not what she meant. Okay. Must not be what she meant. Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
it
yes.
could
How?
dry.
So email support@lessonpix.com. It will make its way to Lori, I
Yep.
promise.
Anything art related comes to me.
And she will take a look at it. We may need to get a release saying that we can use it and it becomes, part of our library. But yeah, we'd love it. We'd love more.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready to get to
Yes,
our next segment?
we are still on back to school. This is all back to school. This is all good stuff. All
Our
right.
next segment on our visual schedule, because we don't want to get off task too far.
That's right.
We're going to go to great ideas.
All right.
Wasn't that fun?
I didn't
Had
drink any
to.
wine. I don't know what you're talking about. So that's why we introduced the videos, by the way. All right, we're going to move over here. Cassie, you're going to stick with us, and we're going to go to the next section, great ideas. And we actually have our great idea comes from one of our guests tonight.
What's her name?
Her name's Jessica.
Jessica.
Her name's Jessica Smith, and she is right here.
We have a huge thank you to
She was just
Jessica,
talking
who
about
really
this.
helped us.
Jessica helped us this weekend a lot. So thank you. And she's always involved. And she's involved not just with us, but all of the AAC programs and my work on AT makers and other things. She's very active right now. And we love the fact that she is. And I want to show.
And I love that she shares like her
good ideas.
wealth of
Yeah.
ideas.
So
There's
we want
so
to
much stuff.
We want to show something that she did over this week.
And this was on Facebook, right?
This is on Facebook. It was 2 days
And
ago.
on Instagram too. She's on Facebook and Instagram.
And
she shared
Instagram. And it says, here's a project I made in LessonPix. And Jessica, thank you for tagging us. That's how we find out about things.
Yep.
So she makes Switch adapted toys. I think she makes switches too, but she also labels them correctly. So she actually went through and she used the AAC template for the AbleNet buttons and switches.
Yep.
And she made a full set of all the things that she was going to make.
Isn't this cool?
Isn't this cool? And she makes these toys and she adapts these toys.
She has a dice roller there.
I know. She has a dice roller. We had so much time and fun on AT Makers making dice rollers. But so and then I had a tip for Jessica. And here Jessica says on Instagram, she's at Stickford SD1. Stickford. Okay, at Stickford SD1. That's who you are. And Kelly says you're a rock star, which is good. That's high praise from Kelly Suiting from Cast. So let me. So she shows her lamination of all of these, and you can tell that almost all of these were made. Let me zoom in here. They were all made with the symbol builder.
Wow, we get a running theme
right?
here.
So she's put these all together with like there's a snow globe and all these are different things you can switch adapt.
Hello,
that she has made.
light.
A singing toucan, right? And all of these are here, and that she can make them exactly that she wants. You see the curved lettering. That is available in 2 different templates. One is the AbleNet switches like this. The other is the circle cards. The circle cards, interestingly, and this is a tip for you, Jessica, if you ever have a differently sized switch or other thing that you just need like a 1.6
I used to
inch
put them
one.
inside of bottle caps, like Gatorade and water bottle caps.
Yep.
And I would put them in, and then you can flip them upside down and kind of play a memory game. And you can also hide like little goldfish crackers or just little stuff underneath them, pennies or whatever tokens.
So, but the circle cards, you can make any size you want.
Any size.
And then the other tip I learned from Lori. So I am the husband of a special needs teacher. And I learned over the years 2 big things, right? So the first is I can't cut.
We learned that quickly.
I can't
Because
cut.
we were
My
dating,
cutting
and we learned
skills.
you can't cut.
My cutting skills are questionable at best.
Yes.
And then
I've worked with them.
you have to cut twice to laminate. You have to cut them, put them on the lamination sleeves, and cut them again, or they're not waterproof. I learned these the hard way.
Yes, they seal around
right?
the edge.
And but I learned a tip from Lori that is magical, and we're going to tell Jessica because it's going to help her a lot.
I don't know. She might know it, but it's called glue sticks.
So Lori taught me that when you have something that looks like this, you can get lots more on a page and save yourself an immense amount of frustration by putting a dab of glue stick on each of these before you put them on the page, and you get them a lot closer together. They don't move, and the glue stick doesn't matter to the laminator.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
She has her space because, again, you talked about leaving that space around it so that she could cut it out.
Well, but I promised the glue stick would have helped her. Yeah. So Jessica says I did double-sided tape. So no, glue stick.
Sweet. No, she's right. We did double-sided tape as well. That was really good.
Glue stick works. And Bridget says game changer. See, it's the little thing. It's the little tips you learn on LessonPix Live that are going to make all the difference.
Otherwise, they slide when I put them in the laminating machine, and that's just rough.
Right. All right. So that's a great idea. We missed something in what's new.
Jessica, thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's on a couple levels. Thank you for this, and thank you for your help over this past weekend. You've been awesome. I do want to talk a little bit about something else that's a great idea. Great idea. I wish so much lamination paper from when they move and overlap. Right? That's right. That's why the minute I saw that, I'm like, oh, she needs glue stick. So because I know that it sucks. And it says, okay, that's right. It's a lifesaver. See, this is not a big thing. It says it's
not a little thing.
It's not a little thing. So, and you also cut them out with a circle cutter instead of using scissors. Sure, if you happen to have the right size die, Judy, or that's Greg. So I thought it would be Shunavars. I'd give her more grief than you, Greg. So, and Jean says, I've used the glue stick hack. It works. Very good. So, hi, Jean. How are you?
Not too much, very little. Because if you use too much, it'll bleed out whenever you're laminating.
You're good. You're good. Okay.
Not that I've done that.
So let's do another great idea, which is hashtags. Hashtags. Not the Jimmy Fallon. We should do a hashtag song. But we're not
another time.
Another time. We plan. So right. So the other thing to show you is hashtags, and that is if a lot of people are like, how do we organize things so that people can find them? People I work with need to find things in the sharing center that I've shared. Right. We may add the ability to share with your group, but there's times when you want to share it with people who aren't in your group. You want to share it with all the AT chat people or all the SL peeps, or
make it easy to find. Anyway.
You just want to make it easy to find, and you want to say all my stuff has the hashtag X in it.
Yes.
So when you share something to the sharing center, and let's take something that is in mine. Here's jobs bingo. Perfect. Something for older kids, right? I want to share this in the sharing center. I can go in here. I can say I want to make this public. I have to choose a category, and we'll put it under.
Put it under social studies.
Social.
Down.
Yeah, curriculum instruction.
Up.
Oh my goodness! It's just my mouth, guys. Okay.
Down. There you
go. Thank you. And yeah, so here in the tag section,
I think I said it 3 times, didn't I?
You said it 3 times. You can add your own tag, so it automatically takes the tags from all the pictures that are put in there. Mm-hmm. But you can add your own tags, and so you can go in here. And I'm going to say
there's too many.
This is going to be LP jobs. It's going to be, all my job stuff. I'm going to put this hashtag in it.
There you go.
And so now I have to give it a description. Says this is a bingo game about various jobs, and I say okay. When I save this, it will now show up in the sharing center. Did it show up in the sharing center? It did.
There it is.
Okay. Mental note.
Little internet.
Mental note. I got to check that. There's a lot of things we're checking. We'll talk about it in the Q&A section. But you'll see that this has the LP jobs in it, right? And so if you do a search in the sharing center, everything that has that in it will show up. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I think this might be because it may actually not work. There you go. So everything with LP jobs will show up when you do the hashtag search.
Super cool.
So I really should have done that demo before we went live because I knew I was going to do the demo too. But go ahead, Beth.
So I was going to just say, and it works because Alyssa put hashtags or just tags. It works the same way, whether you put the hashtag or whether you just put the word. Like you'll see all of when you create a resource, every single picture, the name of every single picture or the text that you put becomes its own. Yep. But for example, Retopia. So we have a lot of things that align with the Retopia curriculum. And when I create things that align with the Retopia curriculum, I put Retopia on it. And then if I search for it, it's going to come up regardless of whether I actually had the word Retopia anywhere in the resource. Like that one did because it was in the title, but I tagged it with that word Retopia. Right. And it would work whether I actually put the hatch mark thing. I'm sorry.
Hashtag. Yeah,
Yeah.
hashtag. Yes. So all of these have hashtag have Retopia on it.
Right.
The reason for the hashtag really is to separate if you want to use a word that is common, it's a regular word, but you just want it as a label, right? Then if you use the hashtag and they search for that, like if you want to do hashtag jobs, right? You don't want all the jobs with all the pictures that everybody else did. I want the ones that I put my hashtag on. So it is Ignite, and that's also what it is about Twitter as well. If you use a hashtag on Twitter, it's meant to say this is a special label that I'm putting on it that isn't also just a general keyword. But it absolutely works either way. I have a request for you because this is our idea for next week.
Go ahead, go.
Okay, so for next week, we are not going to do comments that we add up and do a thing. Our goal is for the next week, anybody who puts in hashtag back to school, back with a number 2 school.
Yes, back number 2 school.
Right.
One word.
One word like this, like back hashtag back to school. And we will honor it if you forget to put the pound sign on it. Okay. If you add that to your things and put them in the sharing center.
Materials for back to school.
Back to school, whatever you're using for back to school.
Yep.
Just like Beth just posted here. That's how you're going to be able to enter for next week's.
So then we're
door
going to go
prizes.
to the sharing center.
Yes.
We're going to search for back to school.
And then
and
we either will
find
choose our favorite or we'll do one favorite and one random from it. How about that? I don't know. We'll figure out some way to
And
give away
maybe
our things that way next week.
a third prize for the people who comment.
Okay, fine. All right, fair enough. All right, let's see. So we have a section for Q&A at the end after the door prizes.
We do. Let's go to our next
But
section.
let's go to our next section
because I made another video.
Right. Hold on a second. Oh, is it this one?
Yes.
I closed it a touch early. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I'm good. All right, love letters.
Love letters. So this is here for a couple reasons. And the first one is the one thing that the people who work at LessonPix love the most is the amount of love letters that we get in through support@lessonpix.com and on social media as well. But they forward them to Bill and I, and actually to the whole team.
Yep.
And we do save them. We cut them out. We have a shared community board where we save some love letters from people. And the reason why I put this segment here is it was a tough week.
It was a tough weekend. The week was fine. The weekend sucked. Okay.
And over the course of that weekend, when everybody was heads down, working hard, we got so many beautiful notes from different people.
Yep.
That I can't thank you enough.
I can bring some up.
I actually screenshotted a few, so
But you didn't send them to me.
No, I'm just going to tell them to you because I don't have time. So, but you might see one. So, Hill B said, "Thank you for having an amazing site. It has revolutionized my therapy sessions."
Right. And this is in response to "We're Still Down."
Isn't that awesome?
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I have more. We had a lot of people giving positive vibes and telling us how much they appreciated us. And Erica Dodge Williams said, "I couldn't be the teacher I am without LessonPix. Our kids need you."
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Right. No, absolutely. And I know this sounds like a girly mush ball thing that Lori's doing.
I did want to
But
say
we were
thank
heads
you.
down, and it was kind of bleak this weekend. And it was really great that everybody was positive. Like there was a snide comment I removed from a friend, a really good friend, who made a little smart ass comment that I had to have removed. But Jessica's so helpful. Could have airdropped the screenshots.
Well, I could have.
Yeah, but she didn't.
But
So,
I didn't.
But we actually, everything was positive, even when we were giving bad news over the weekend.
Yep. And
I
I
had
got
somebody else in the industry.
pages of ones that are mailed in that I put hearts that I was going to read, but I think we're running out of time, and you get the idea.
I get the idea.
We are very grateful for any positive vibes, happy notes, stories, and we get notes from parents of children with autism who mention, this one said, I want to write how immensely grateful I am for the grid book feature, and help their son immensely. There's so many of them.
Yeah. So it definitely added to the, knowing how much you guys love it, it made it even harder when we had a rough weekend. So I guess if there are any questions about what happened over the past weekend, I guess I can give a very super quick update on this past weekend, which sucked. So we had an incident this weekend where people were able to add script tags to our site, all over our site. We had to do a great deal of cleanup. We thought we had it. We didn't. We had to do a great deal more of cleanup. And then we took the site down and spent an immense amount of time hardening and adding layers of security.
That should have been in the what's new.
Yeah. Okay. No. No. I'd like to talk about this as little as possible. But it is absolutely the case that we had an issue. We have done our best to address it. I think we are. Given the fact that we were up for the first day of school, that was our goal, and we made it. Yay. No data was lost.
I was going to say, you've been very hard on yourself, but actually a lot of companies could not get up as quickly as we did in 2 days, and we've had no data loss.
That is true.
Yes.
That said, it shouldn't have happened.
Well,
and that was on me. So I apologize to anybody who saw that on Saturday. And Jessica Smith was the first, or Aaron in Australia, one of the two. I don't know who came in first. I think Aaron sent his first, and we heard from Jessica because she's talking more to Beth more directly. So thank you guys for letting us know politely and securely. And hey, something's wrong.
And the positive vibes.
They made an enormous difference. I actually got a comment from somebody else in the industry, a friend of mine, who said, hey, if you have any trouble with PR, if anybody's being awful, let me know. I've been through that. And I'm like, no, everybody's great. Like, seriously, everybody is supportive and great. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't have asked for a better set of customers and users and LessonPix members than what we got this past weekend.
So love letters.
Yeah. So love letters is why we
love you.
Yeah, we love you too. Thank you very much. Aren't we mushballs? All right.
Last section.
Yeah, we got one more video.
6:30. It's time to.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yes.
You know that we're going to lose Cassie if we're not careful.
Oh wait.
All right, that's a little
long.
All right.
I'm just going to go dancing every time.
You wanted them to loop, and so I didn't know how long.
They were short. Yeah, they needed to be short. So, Beth, how many entries do we have?
She's muted.
You're muted. I can't hear a darn thing.
I don't read lips very well.
It's very quiet. It's very rare that Beth is quiet.
Very rare. I think we have 20. So if somebody's at 21, let me know. Like, I don't want you left out. But I think as I'm scrolling back, that we have.
Thank you, Tracy.
20 entries. Yeah, it looks like we got 20 entries.
So let's do a spinner, and let's give away some stuff. And I found a flaw in this Play Tools today. It's a feature problem. It's not a bug. So if anybody doesn't know, this is our Play Tools. So right here under, whoops, what did I do?
So Jean says 26 people. If you didn't put in
what did I do?
An idea.
We're not in there.
Put in an idea. I will tell you when Bill does the number. I can scroll back and see whose number.
Can you hear us? What did you close?
I don't know.
We can. Oh, there you're back.
I'm working on it. There you go.
I don't know what he hit.
I hit a button to close the Play Tools, and I missed. And I think I closed OBS, and we're okay. We'll all survive. So on the main,
It's one
on the
of those
main,
weeks.
it is one of these weeks. Like Saturn's in retrograde or something. I don't know. Mercury's retrograde. Somebody will tell me I've
I
got
think
it wrong.
this time it's Neptune.
It might be Neptune. If you go to the LessonPix homepage, when you log in, your LessonPix page right here, and then you go to Play Tools, it will pop up the ability to create all of our interactive tools that we can use in PowerPoint and Google Slides.
There you go.
And today we're going to create a spinner. And we're going to make numbers between 1 and
26.
20.
Well, we have 20. I counted 20 ideas that people share. There might have been 26 people, but not everybody. So, like, if you want to really quickly put an idea in, and we can increase the number, but it's your amazing LessonPix idea.
All right. So I don't see any more.
I don't either.
Okay, we're going to do it with 20. So when I hit create game, it's going to make me a spinner. And we're going to spin it 3 times and give stuff away.
Let's go.
And Beth's going to tell us who wins.
I am. You got to give me time to like scroll back and forth to find who's what. So
That's okay. So when we find it, I'll put their ID up. We'll talk about it. Okay?
We're good at wait time.
All right. What do we got? I don't even know if they can hear that, but it makes sound. Number 8.
So number 8 is, if you didn't remember that you were number 8, if you know you're number 8, put it up. Put yourself up in there.
I can scroll up here and find number 8.
Oh no, they're in comments.
Oh, they're further up. Number 8. 6, 7, 8 is
Beth Pass.
No.
Oh,
That was me replying. Amy.
Rebecca Dean.
It was Amy Birch. Amy Birch.
Amy Birch.
Amy Birch.
Amy Birch. Social story. Wow, that's a lot of ideas. All right. Social stories, visual schedules, all classroom visuals, everything in my 2 middle school special education classrooms. Absolutely correct. Absolutely wonderful ideas for back to school. And you can let us know if you want a renewal or a gift certificate, $25 at Amazon.
Amazon.
We will send you a
2 more people put things in. So Jean, you're 21. Tracy, you're 22. So can you change the numbers now to 22?
Yes, ma'am. I will change it to 22. Watch how easy this is. And create the game. There's now 22, and number 8 can't win again. All right. Number 10.
Number 10 is Kelly Dube. Am I saying the name correctly? Kelly D-U-B-E.
Kelly Dube or Doobie. Social stories, visual schedules, labeling classrooms, cubbies, visual student roster, visuals for jobs, lunch board, and so much more. I like your dog. That's a great Roddy.
Kelly's
I like your
picture.
puppy. I said we're a very pet-friendly place.
Friendly place.
Absolutely. All right. So Kelly, let us
Excellent.
know which one you want in the comments, and we'll send you the right thing. All right. One more, Beth.
Okay. Kelly, you were number 10, so you won. So
Number 22.
No way.
No way.
That was,
Yeah.
She snuck in under the wire.
I think I said that was Tracy, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know,
this is
Tracy.
relying on your memory of my.
Tracy.
I'll take it, but which
Camber?
So I believe it was Tracy was 22. Tracy Whitaker Camber.
Where's
She said she put one, I think, and I don't know where it is, but we're just going for that. We're honest here.
We're honest. We're not. We got to find it. Tracy, type your idea again, and I'll put it up on the screen if I can't find it. I believe you that you put one on there, but I want to put it on the
16,
screen.
so it would be below that.
No, but she
She did it up
she didn't
above.
put
Because I might have missed her on the, in
Yeah,
the,
let's
in
see
the
if-
wealth of information shared.
if you've left, I think we have to draw again. So if you've left, we got to draw again.
No, she's there.
Well, let's draw again. We can give her one too. I want to show a third
You were
one.
the one who
I wanna
was
show a
so
third
upset
one.
that I upped it. to
Giving away
3.
money. Number 19. Who's number 19?
19 is scroll. 19, 16, 17, 18. 19 is Emily Bancroft.
Emily
We used the
Bancroft.
dotted letters
We used the dotted letters for our kindergarten transition group for name tracing and to learn to recognize their name.
Very nice. Yeah,
And the
another
dotted
symbol.
letters were very.
Yay!
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I am too. So I've got some questions for the crowd as we go. So, oh my God, yay. Oh my God, yay. Yay. All right. So tell us, all of you guys, send us a note. You can send them to Beth if you want to DM Beth, or you can just post them here, whichever you want. If you want to, you can get a LessonPix membership or renewal. We'll give you a code, or we'll send you via email. Or I don't know how else. Beth will figure out a way to send you $25 on Amazon.
Yeah, I can do it. I got it. I got it covered.
And then I've got a question for you
Did
all.
Cassie win? She gave great answers too.
So I'm very curious what people think of the new format. We're still working on it. We just wanted to give it a little more structure. I think it moved well.
Kept us on schedule. We're still 10 minutes over.
We're still 10, but we were half an hour over regularly, and I think everything was pretty much on topic.
I have to say,
visual help.
Nailed it.
Cassie, you were excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If you ever watched Miss Maisel, you're like, you're tight 10 or tight 11, whatever it's supposed to be. 10 minutes of great comedy kind of thing.
Oh, I haven't seen it now. I'm going to have to look it up.
There you go. So Emily says we're amazing and only getting better. I agree. I'm so glad that that's the case. All right. And Laura loves Cassie.
Would you shoot me an email at Beth@LessonPix? That would be at LessonPix.com. That would be fantastic, because it'll be easier for me to email you your prize.
All right. So we should be seeing you next week. Our guest has RSV, so there is a chance that will be postponed.
So later in the week, we'll talk.
Hopefully, just later in the weeks, but maybe the following week if we have to. We're not going to put her on sick. We're not going to make her do that. And it is a her. I just gave it away. She's a her.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll announce it.
It'll be on Facebook and Instagram what we're going to do.
Yep. All right, everybody.
Thank
Good
you
night.
so
Have
much
fun.
for having me.
Mary Baker DeMay said, I've never done one of these before, but I will do more. Learn some great ideas.
Excellent.
Great. It was
Excellent.
really good.
Yeah, I'm really glad you all joined
school.
us. Thank you so much. Haven't been on the site recently. School starting up, still weeks away for you. Lucky you, Gene.
No.
Not for us.
Oh, that's nice.
So, and different Tammy. I always recommend LessonPix during my trainings. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies.
That's how we.
Ladies
find
and
out
Greg.
about us.
Ladies and Greg. And Bill. Oh, he's the only guy. Ladies and Greg.
You don't know commented.
Oh,
you don't know.
Oh my goodness. Okay. The odds are in my favor.
No, they're not.
Okay. All right. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you.